welcome to a brand new season of FC Goa TV on Prudent. I am Neeraj Prabhu. FC Goa have commenced the 4th edition of ISL with a 3-2 victory at Chennai FC. It gives Sergio Lobera's boys a great boost of confidence to see that their team has started with 3 points in this big edition of ISL. Big because we have 10 teams in the tournament and the league is going to run for 4 months. Today in our post-match analysis program, let's know the views of our football expert, ex-India striker Francis D'Souza, who is with us as always. Francis, how do you feel? What are your first thoughts on FC Goa's opening match?
It's good to be back at Prudent, trying to give my views
Pleasure.
to the viewers, and I must say I'm happy because FC Goa has got those valuable 3 points in their first outing. They show a lot of promise, although the game yesterday was divided in 2 halves, one for FC Goa and the other belonged to Chennai. But just as the coach Sergio said, that he is going to give us a display of attacking football, and rightly so. The composure, the coordination, the understanding between Brendan and the rest of the Brazilian players, along with Mandar, has yielded those 3 goals in the first 45 minutes, and that was something exciting to watch. And the calmness of Lanzo, who converted that, was the icing of the first half, icing on the cake of the first half.
Right. He set out in the 4-2-3-1 formation. This formation was tried out by Lobera in the practice matches, and he looked very comfortable to employ it in the opening match with his players. In the starting 11, that also included 5 Goans, with Seriton Fernandes and Muhammad Ali making their debut. So your thoughts on this system and the players that he sent out to start the game?
It's a new challenge with new sort of players, new coach handling players. The body language was different, the attitude was different. I mean, it all happens when the whole team goes through a change, and the players who are coming in, the newcomers like Seriton and Ali, I think it must be a little bit jittery for them to start a big match like this. Haven't played the earlier editions. But they have given a good account of themselves in their first match, and I hope to see them grow in confidence as the tournament progresses.
Yes. Now Sergio Lobera, who has worked in the past as an assistant coach at Barcelona, we were all expecting the tiki-taka version of football, and the game yesterday had a real footprint of that beautiful on the eye Spanish brand of football, isn't it?
Yes, with Spain comes the tiki-taka football, and it is always possession football for Spanish coaches. They believe in a lot of football possession, and then going forward with that possession. The longer you hold the ball, you make things difficult for the opponents, and that has been the philosophy of Sergio also. And very rightly so. You have seen them making numerous passes in the first 45 minutes. And that's, I think, what has rattled the Chennai FC.
Absolutely. FC Goa were really positive in their outlook. And it's not easy for a team to go out in a away venue and as intimidating as Chennai FC's venue can be. But the Gods were really looking forward to set up their shop and play an open game. And that's what we got from the start. Francis, your thoughts on those goals?
I think it's a piece of brilliant counter attack. There was composure, there was understanding, and there was the clinical finish that you would expect a Spanish player to do. And the second one was, in fact, hard work also of Koro, who gave a good pass, and good dribble by Mandar. In fact, the goal should have come to Mandar, but unfortunately, the ball travelled to Lanza, who very calmly and coolly put the ball over the heads of all the defenders into the goal. And that's what is required for a player to score goals. You need the cool head and the composure and the technique. And that's what exactly the Spanish player had, and he
Yes.
gave an advantage to the team.
Then Lanzarote turned the provider for the third goal scored by Mandar.
Yes, in fact, if you've seen, Mandar has been operating on the right a little earlier on. He has switched sides,
Yes.
which also creates complications for the defense. I have seen them taking a lot of diagonal runs, which was not happening earlier in the FC Goa teams. They were more direct approach. With diagonal runs, you always confuse and you split the defenses. So that's exactly what has happened. There was a diagonal run, Mandar went to the left, and very, very, very cleverly, the vision that Lanza showed by putting the ball to Mandar, and a brilliant finish by Mandar.
That's the highlight of FC Goa so far, that I've seen players like Mandar and Brandon, they keep on interchanging and interlinking their positions and make it difficult for the opponents to mark them.
Yes, that's going to create a panic, and defenders are always trying to be confused. If you start interchanging position, have the diagonal runs, you have to. In fact, defenders have to mark a player who is in a particular position at that point of time. So it's always an understanding, and this can only happen when there is a good sense of coordination and understanding between players. It can only happen with intelligent players who knows when to switch and where to switch.
FC Goa have had around over a month now in the pre-season, and it seems like their midfield, particularly players like Manuel Lanzarote, Ferran Corominas, Edu Bedia, Ahmad Jahu, Mandar and Brandon, they have developed a very good sense about how they would go about their system, how they go play in this system, and they keep on moving like a good, well-oiled unit, isn't it?
Yes, this is only possible when you have a good vision, you have the intelligence, you have the technical ability, and you have good positional play. And they have displayed it in the first match. And it's going to be interesting to see how they progress in the remainder of the tournament. And I hope it's going to improve much better than what they have displayed so far, with the rest of the team also supporting them.
Yes. FC Goa's focus this season with Sergio Lobera as their head coach is on playing attacking football with balance in defense.
Because the Spanish players are good at ball possession, they are technically sound, they are good in positional play, and with Brendan also doing a remarkable job. In fact, the style of play that Sergio has adopted is perfectly fitting Mandar and Brendan, because they can't play a very physical game, but technical and ball possession, I mean, they can really show their class. And that's what they have done yesterday, and they have been trying to play possession football and playing along the width of the field. So that's a big advantage. But it's going to be a little bit dangerous trying to play in your own half. And if you have seen at the start of the second half, they tried to do that in their defending third, but they have lost the ball, and Nelson almost converted that goal.
Yes.
So there are chances of you losing the ball when you try to play too much into your own half in the defending third. So that is a word of caution that they should try to implement now.
Right. Ahmad Jahu playing in defensive midfield role is quite a good tackler, and they have players to win the ball back as well.
Yeah, I mean that is the strategy. You have a schemer and you have a defending half, and that's how. And he has done a very good job in the first half, and seems to have a lot of promise. And we look forward to him performing even better.
A Moroccan international, and
Yes.
of course we know Morocco have also qualified for Russia 2018. So the country has talent, definitely.
Yes, so if you see, there is a lot of talent all over the world, and especially the African countries. And if you see the outcome of the qualifiers, you have seen Italy has been out of the World Cup.
Absolutely.
So this
Football is growing.
smaller countries are improving and developing
Right.
leaps and bounds, and that's why you have players like Moroccans who have qualified for the World Cup.
Absolutely. So this year we are going to have a fascinating ISL. We hope to have a fascinating ISL with a lot of players from different countries here. Moving forward, it's amazing what a player can get to a team. You know, a player in spotlight here, of course, is Brandon Fernandes, who is looking like a class player. previously FC Goa didn't have a local player like Brandon, so this player will be very valuable for Sergio Lobera, isn't it?
Yes, there were a lot of expectations from Brendan right from the time he came from his foreign
South
African trip, and we are looking at him to perform as far as Goan footballer was concerned. And I think it all depends on his style and the styles the coaches adopt, how he is going to fit into their scheme of things for a particular match. And very rightly so, by this Spanish coach Sergio coming, he knows how he has to utilize the players, and very rightly so, he is using Mandar and Brendan to the maximum of their ability.
Not to discount the type of football that FC Goa played under Zico and with all the players that they had. They also gave us a display of some fantastic football in the past. I would like to know you, Francis, what's the difference between the Brazilian pressing style of football and the Spanish style of tiki-taka football?
You know, Brazilians are more with the ball possession. They like to play more individual football. And they like to play and spread the game and create those gaps for you to move inside. And here if you find Spanish people playing the width of the field and trying to penetrate with the, penetrate defense with the penetrating passes. And that's, if you see yesterday, you have seen 2-3 very good penetrative passes which have got us goals and created panic in the Chennai defense. So although Brazilians hold on to the ball a little longer, they like to come more closer with the ball and the man together. Right. But there's a little bit of a difference between the Spanish and the Brazilians. Here you find the Spanish playing more at the width of the field and then trying to spread the defense and play those penetrating passes.
So with Brazilians come more of individuality, and with Spanish comes more of a team game.
Yeah, more of a flair and team game and ball possession.
Right, wonderful. Moving forward, FC Goa were cruising at halftime, but I don't know what happened at the halftime, and when Chennai FC came back onto the field for the second half, the hosts obviously were looking more hungry, and then some errors in FC Goa camp that led to those 2 goals.
The ball was in the air and Ali was right behind JJ trying to cover him up, and I think the decision that Katamani took was a little late. He was no way getting the ball anywhere, and then he came in contact with JJ. And today, if you don't get the ball and you get the defender, a referee will always point to the spot. So he should be very careful, and very rightly so. Referee has awarded the penalty kick.
Yeah, that was the second goal, Francis. The first goal was where Katimani allowed the ball to trickle in.
Yeah, it didn't have the power, desired power for the ball to enter in such goal, and there was a slight deflection. I think what he failed to do was move his feet a bit and get his body behind the line of the ball, and that's where he faltered. And maybe a little lack of eye contact. He lost a little eye contact, and that's how with the ball, and that's how the ball rolled into the goal from his chest.
So how important the goalkeeper's position becomes when you have something like error like this. It's almost magnified now. He should have been absolutely square when the ball comes in, so the ball hits his body and rebounds. Since he was at a slight angle, the ball trickled home.
Yes, this sometimes happens to some good goalkeepers also. But then it's always a good goalkeeper who saves this kind of easy shots. You don't take care of your basics when you have a free kick. I mean, you should always try to get as much as possible your body behind the line of the ball and try to save it. And the next option is a diving save. But here a harmless ball, which was not having any much deviation from that touch.
By Bruno.
Should have been collected very safely by Katamani.
Sure, regulation save it would have been. Nevertheless, FC Goa got the 3 points that they were looking for when they had stepped onto the field at Chennai FC. So first task achieved, a good start. Overall performance, how would you rate yesterday the Gore's performance?
In fact, if you've seen the 2 previous encounters of the ISL teams, they were playing with a lot of cautions, trying to assess the strength and weaknesses of the opponent teams, and that's why we had 2 goalless, we had draws. But if you see FC Goa, they have gone with an open mind to play attacking football, just like the philosophy of the coach, Sergio, who promised us attacking football. And that's what they did rightly. A beautiful clearance, heading clearance by Bruno was collected very well by Coro. A beautiful movement between Brandon and him. Quick space, we didn't give chance for the defenders to recover. And we have done it so many times in the first half.
Yes.
And that's the brand of football that we expect to see FC Goa in the future.
Any thoughts on where Chennai FC let themselves down?
I think the coach John Gregory did a very good substitution in the second half. He got a defensive midfielder in place in the name of Bikramjit and Nelson. I think Bikramjit was FC Goa was having midfield dominance,
right?
And by bringing Bikramjit, he tried to stop that dominance. And since he's a more defensive player and he's more of a tackling player, winning balls, I think he succeeded in doing that and kept the pressure on FC Goa. And that's how they managed to keep possession and pin FC Goa to their own half.
Manuel Lanzarote was the man of the match, the player of the match. Was he the best player on the field for you as well?
Yes, obviously. Very clear decision of his playing outstanding football on this day. But I think after 60 minutes of football in the Chennai hit, I think must have had a little toll on the Spanish players, because that's when afterward Chennai start attacking more.
Right.
And we saw very frequent attacks from FC Goa.
Now looking forward, FC Goa play their second match away on the trot, and that's at Mumbai City FC on Saturday. So your thoughts going forward? Anything that FC Goa coach needs to do now to fine tune some issues here and there?
I think he's very enthusiastic coach. He's young. He is flamboyant, and you can see it from his football. So he's not going to stop his attacking philosophy. He's going to continue with the same style of football, and I don't think there'll be a change in the first 11 that he has played, because he will try to continue with the same 11, and then he will try to strengthen the team if he finds that he has to make changes wherever necessary. But I think he's going to keep the same 11 and try to build up that confidence among his team.
Any word of advice you could have with defender debutant Mohammad Ali and young Sheridan Fernandez?
Yeah, they have played well for the first matches, but FC Goa looks a little vulnerable in the defense. So I think Sergio has to give a big thought to that, because he will be in later part of the tournament encountering Bengaluru FC and the other teams which have good striking ability. So he has to watch out for his defense and strengthen a little more.
And what can FC Goa captain Lakshmikant Kattimani do to erase the memory of that howler from his mind?
I think he has to believe in himself. He has to forget the match which is gone. I mean, he has to look forward. Yeah. I mean, there's no point in looking at what negative has happened in the past. He has to be positive, take it very sportingly, and look forward in performing well. Right. It happens to the attackers and happens with the goalkeepers. It's part of football.
Absolutely part of football. And just before we leave, I would like to know you how many marks you would give FC Goa out of 10 for the opening performance.
I think at least 7.
7, that's wonderful. So brilliant start by FC Goa, says our football pundit, ex-India international Francis D'Souza. Francis, thank you very much for being with us as always.
Good to have me here.
So that's all from us from FC Goa TV's Simply Football post-match analysis program. Keep watching Prudent for exclusive coverage on FC Goa TV throughout the ISL 4. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.